Numbers chapter 18, verse 20 through chapter 21, verse 9. And the Lord said to Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any portion among them. For I am thy portion and thine inheritance amidst the children of Israel. And behold, I have given to the sons of Levi every tithe in Israel for an inheritance for their services, wheresoever they perform ministry in the tabernacle of witness. And the children of Israel shall no more draw nigh to the tabernacle of witness to incur fatal guilt. And the Levite himself shall perform the service of the tabernacle of witness, and they shall bear their iniquities. It is a perpetual statute throughout their generations. And in the midst of the children of Israel they shall not receive an inheritance, because I have given as a distinct portion to the Levites for an inheritance the tithes of the children of Israel, whatsoever they shall offer to the Lord. Therefore I said to them, in the midst of the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Thou shalt also speak to the Levites, and shalt say to them, If ye take the tithes from the children of Israel, which I have given you from them for an inheritance, then shall ye separate from it a heave offering to the Lord, a tenth of a tenth. And your heave offerings shall be reckoned to you as corn from the floor, and an offering from the winepress. So shall ye also separate them from all the offerings of the Lord out of all your tithes, whatsoever ye shall receive from the children of Israel. And ye shall give of them an offering to the Lord to Aaron the priest. Of all your gifts ye shall offer an offering to the Lord, and of every first fruit the consecrated part from it. And thou shalt say to them, When ye shall offer the first fruits from it, then shall it be reckoned to the Levites as produce from the threshing floor, and as produce from the winepress. And ye shall eat it in any place, ye and your families, for this is your reward for your services in the tabernacle of witness. And ye shall not bear sin by reason of it. For ye shall have offered an offering of the first fruits from it, and ye shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, that ye die not. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the constitution of the law, as the Lord has commanded, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and let them take for thee a red heifer without spot, which has no spot on her, and on which no yoke has been put. And thou shalt give her to Eleazar the priest, and they shall bring her out of the camp into a clean place, and shall kill her before his face. And Eleazar shall take of her blood, and sprinkle of her blood 7 times in front of the tabernacle of witness. And they shall burn her to ashes before him. And her skin, and her flesh, and her blood, with her dung, shall be consumed. And the priest shall take cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet wool, and they shall cast them into the midst of the burning of the heifer. And the priest shall wash his garments, and bathe his body in water. And afterwards he shall go into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean till evening. And he that burns her shall wash his garments, and bathe his body, and shall be unclean till evening. And a clean man shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up in a clean place outside the camp. And they shall be for the congregation of the children of Israel to keep. It is the water of sprinkling, a purification. And he that gathers up the ashes of the heifer shall wash his garments, and shall be unclean until evening. And it shall be a perpetual statute for the children of Israel, and for the strangers joined to them. He that touches the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall be purified on the 3rd day and the 7th day, and shall be clean. But if he be not purged on the 3rd day and the 7th day, he shall not be clean. Every one that touches the carcass of the person of a man, if he should have died, and the other have not been purified, has defiled the tabernacle of the Lord. That soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of sprinkling has not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. And this is the law. If a man die in a house, every one that goes into the house, and all things in the house, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel, which has not a covering bound upon it, shall be unclean. And every one who shall touch a man slain by violence, or a corpse, or a human bone, or sepulchre, shall be unclean 7 days. And they shall take for the unclean of the burnt ashes of purification, and they shall pour upon them running water into a vessel. And a clean man shall take hyssop, and dip it into water, and sprinkle it upon the house, and the furniture, and all the souls that are therein, and upon him that touched the human bone, or the slain man, or the corpse, or the tomb. And the clean man shall sprinkle the water on the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall purify himself, and the other shall wash his garments, and bathe himself in water, and shall be unclean until evening. And whatever man shall be defiled, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the congregation, because he has defiled the holy things of the Lord. because the water of sprinkling has not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean. And it shall be to you a perpetual statute, and he that sprinkles the water of sprinkling shall wash his garments, and he that touches the water of sprinkling shall be unclean until evening. And whatsoever the unclean man shall touch shall be unclean, and the soul that touches it shall be unclean till evening. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Sin in the first month, and the people abode in Cades. And Miriam died there, and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and Aaron. And the people reviled Moses, saying, Would we had died in the destruction of our brethren before the Lord! And wherefore have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, to kill us and our cattle? And wherefore is this? Ye have brought us up out of Egypt, that we should come into this evil place, a place where there is no sowing, neither figs, nor vines, nor pomegranates, neither is there water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from before the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of witness, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take thy rod, and call the assembly, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye to the rock before them, and it shall give forth its waters, and ye shall bring forth for them water out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their cattle. And Moses took his rod which was before the Lord, as the Lord commanded. And Moses and Aaron assembled the congregation before the rock, and said to them, Hear me, ye disobedient ones. Must we bring you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and struck the rock with his rod twice, and much water came forth, and the congregation drank, and their cattle. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, Because ye have not believed me to sanctify me for the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of strife, because the children of Israel spoke insolently before the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses sent messengers from Cades to the king of Edom, saying, Thus says thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the distress that has come upon us, and how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we sojourned in Egypt many days, and the Egyptians afflicted us and our fathers. And we cried to the Lord, and the Lord heard our voice, and sent an angel, and brought us out of Egypt. And now we are in the city of Cades, at extremity of thy coasts. We will pass through thy land. We will not go through the fields, nor through the vineyards, nor will we drink water out of thy cistern. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left, until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said to him, Thou shalt not pass through me, and if otherwise, I will go forth to meet thee in war. And the children of Israel said to him, We will pass by the mountain, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, I will pay thee. But it is no matter of importance. We will go by the mountain. And he said, Thou shalt not pass through me. And Edom went forth to meet him with a great host and a mighty hand. So Edom refused to allow Israel to pass through his borders, and Israel turned away from him. And they departed from Cades, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came to Mount Or. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Or, on the borders of the land of Edom, saying, Let Aaron be added to his people, for ye shall certainly not go into the land which I have given the children of Israel, because ye provoked me at the water of strife. Take Aaron, and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to the Mount Or before all the congregation. And take Aaron's apparel from off him, and put it on Eleazar his son, and let Aaron die there, and be added to his people. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and took him up to Mount Or before all the congregation. And he took Aaron's garments off him, and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died on the top of the mountain. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, and they wept for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. And Arad the Canaanitish king, who dwelt by the wilderness, heard that Israel came by the way of Atharim, and he made war on Israel, and carried off some of them captives. And Israel vowed a vow to the Lord, and said, If thou wilt deliver this people into my power, I will devote it, and the cities to thee. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel, and delivered the Canaanite into his power. And Israel devoted him and his cities, and they called the name of that place Anathema. And having departed from Mount Or by the way leading to the Red Sea, they compassed the land of Edom, and the people lost courage by the way. The people spoke against God and against Moses, saying, Why is this? Hast thou brought us out of Egypt to slay us in the wilderness? For there is not bread nor water, and our soul loathes this light bread. And the Lord sent among the people deadly serpents, and they bit the people, and much people, the children of Israel, died. And the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray therefore to the Lord, and let him take away the serpent from us. And Moses prayed to the Lord for the people, and the Lord said to Moses, Make thee a serpent, and put it on a signal staff. And it shall come to pass that whenever a serpent shall bite a man, every one so bitten that looks upon it shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a signal staff. And it came to pass that whenever a serpent bit a man, and he looked upon the brazen serpent, he lived. Psalm 47, 48 in Hebrew. A psalm of praise for the sons of Korah on the second day of the week. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God in his holy mountain. The city of the great king is well planted on the mountains of Sion, with the joy of the whole earth on the sides of the north. God is known in her palaces, when he undertakes to help her. For behold, the kings of the earth were assembled. They came together. They saw, and so they wondered. They were troubled. They were moved. Trembling took hold on them. There were the pangs as of a woman in travail. Thou wilt break the ships of Tharsis with a vehement wind. As we have heard, so have we also seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God has founded it forever. Pause. We have thought of thy mercy, O God, in the midst of thy people. According to thy name, O God, so is also thy praise to the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Sion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judea exult, because of thy judgments, O Lord. Go round about Sion, and encompass her. Tell ye her towers. Mark ye well her strength, and observe her palaces, that ye may tell the next generation. For this is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide forevermore. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 18. But he knows that mighty men die by her, and he falls in with the snare of hell. But hasten away, delay not in the place, neither fix thine eyes upon her. For thus shalt thou go through strange water. But do thou abstain from strange water, and drink not of a strange fountain, that thou mayest live long, and years of life may be added to thee. The Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 3, verses 1 through 19. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, Stand forth. And he saith unto him, Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil? To save life, or to kill? They held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved at their hardness of hearts, he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And the Pharisees went forth, and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. But Jesus withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Judea, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea, and from beyond Jordan. And they about Tyre and Sidon, a great multitude, when they had heard what great things he did, came unto him. And he spake to his disciples that a small ship should wait on him because of the multitude, lest they should throng him. For he had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon him for to touch him, as many as had plagues. And unclean spirits, when they saw him, fell down before him, and cried, saying, Thou art the Son of God. And he straitly charged them that they should not make him known. And he goeth up into a mountain, and calleth unto him whom he would, and they came unto him. And he ordained 12, that they should be with him, and that he might send them forth to preach, and have power to heal sicknesses, and to cast out devils. And Simon he surnamed Peter, and James the son of Zebedee, and John the brother of James, and he surnamed them Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder, and Andrew, and Philip, and Bartholomew, and Matthew, and Thomas, and James the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, and Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, which also betrayed him. And they went into a house.